What's going on, YouTube? Console or PC? We're really gonna dive into that today. I'm gonna give my opinion, and I'm gonna try my best to break down why I lean on the PC side, if I'm being honest with you. But stay tuned. There's gonna be a lot of information, but it's gonna be hopefully I can help you narrow down what you want to buy and why, versus just like I don't know, PC costs too much, because there's reasons for either. Stay tuned. Alright, so that question comes up so much on my IG, just talking with people, chatting. Man, I think I want to do PC, but it costs too much. Or I'm happy on console, but I wish I could do a PC. And it comes up a lot. Biggest thing for me is what type of driving do you like to do? And, you know, like sim racing or sim driving. I'm not this person that sim races every day. I have my phases with it, but I'm definitely not the person that races every day all the time. But the quality of driving you get kind of goes over what console can offer. But it really just depends what you want to do. You know, like, are you just looking to drift with your buddies? You know, are you trying to do like Assetto Corsa or like Car X? If you're just a Car X dude, you might not want to spend that extra money to get a PC. But if you want to do drifting on Assetto Corsa and you want to build your perfect car and all of that stuff, you're not going to be able to do that on console. You're going to be limited, very limited to what you can do, and that'll make you wish you got a PC. So we're going to go ahead and start. We're going to start with GT7 Gran Turismo. Then I'll take you guys into the sim room. And I'll show like some of the wheelbase options, some of the DLC, and some of the content you can get for free, like Assetto Corsa mods and things along those lines. So let's go ahead. Alright, so I mentioned sim racing versus, you know, just driving, having fun. So Gran Turismo, let's start there, because that's the only real choice if you're on the console side now. You do have some classic older ones, like, you know, like Assetto Corsa came to console, ACC Competizione came to console. The biggest thing that Gran Turismo Sport has, or Gran Turismo 7 has, is sport mode. Now, sport mode is the closest thing to like an esports model that they have on here. And I do not do it, I'm not gonna lie to you. But they have daily races, GT3 and GT4 class, and you know, this is kind of their bread and butter. You know, evidently you can rent cars, but you know, you go to your garage, and it's going to be your two GT3 cars, Group 3 GT3, but there is no prototypes. There is no endurance racing. Like, you're gonna have to set up some of that stuff yourself. So, and this is kind of the downside, but at the same time it can be kind of fun. So, you know, here for example, they got GT3 and GT4 cars. Some of the Group 4 / GT4 cars aren't real. Like, this is not a real car. It's not a real car, but then you, at the same time, you know, some less popular cars, like, you know, this is the Vision GT. So like, for me, it's cool, but if I'm really gonna be racing, I want the real deal. I want official prototypes and GT cars, and I don't want any, you know, like, confusion about that. But I mean, another concept that they don't race in real life, the Supra GT3 car, that's not running in real life. Lexus actually have the RCF and GT3. So it's a fun game, and I think the force feedback is really good. It took a while to get there, though. They had to really do some changes to the tire model. Oh, there goes the RCF. They had to do some changes to the tire model to get it to a point where somebody like me would be happy with it. But the sport mode, I mean, they got the Manufacturers Cup, they got the Nations Cup, and I've seen around 50,000 players a week play this. Other part that you got to deal with on console games like this is just like the mixed field. So if you look here, TS030, Le Mans prototype, when Toyota first got back to Le Mans racing, top category. Then you have the fastest LMP1 car over a single lap. The same car that broke down in one lap versus Porsche. And then you have the hypercar that's significantly slower than the LMP1 cars. Now, if you don't have any money in this game and you want to do esports with it, you're not even going to be able to. But of course, they find a way to throw in microtransactions. So if I wanted to get that car, I would have to pay $35 total, because you got $20 for $2 million, $750,000, make it $30, and then $499. And that's the crazy part about this game. They also have legendary stuff. Let's go there real quick. And this is really what tips the scale for me. Like, that's $16 million. Now, $20 gets you $2 million. I'll let you guys do the math on that to buy that car. So even though a PC costs more, if you want to have all the fun, cool stuff, the grind you got to do, or the amount of money you got to spend, really makes it hard for me. And I really be wanting to get back into Gran Turismo more than just a controller, like Fanatec DD stuff, Logitech. But let's go ahead and go to the PC, and I'll show you guys some of the offers and some of the deals that are out there. But don't get me wrong, if this is all you want to do, spend $600 on your PlayStation and be good with it, I think you'll be happy. But the type of driving you can do is going to be extremely limited. Let's check out this gym real quick. ACC. I had so much fun with this game when it came out. This was my first real sim. Yeah. And it's still $40 on PC too. So like on console too. But it was a good time. So I don't want you to think there's no fun to be had if you're limited to a PlayStation. But I just want you to know, like, we're going to go in this computer room and show you. Alright guys, so first things first, how much does a PC really cost you, right? Now the best thing you want to do is build one, because that's how you save the most money. But there are plenty of pre-built PCs that you can look into. Now this one is $1749, and it's decent. Like, it's not top shelf, but again, you're going pre-built. That's the type of stuff you have to think about. So it does have a ton of memory, which is one of the most important things you can do. But decent processor. A decent graphics card, 16 gigabytes, and like that is way stronger than the PC I race with. But then you have your budget stuff. Like, let's check this out. AMD. It's definitely an older build. So like, this is kind of what you want if you want to spend. This isn't that much more than a PS5 or a PS5 Pro is what I'm getting at. Now, of course, there's going to be more stuff you have to deal with and manage and worry about versus a PlayStation. For the most part, it's just plug and go. But I definitely think it's worth it. Depending on what you looking to get out of it, um, it's definitely worth it. But now that we got and then of course you got your stupid, expensive, crazy stuff like this is 3 grand. AMD. Where's the top of the line Nvidia? 5080. That's You don't need that to have a good time. Like I said, my computer is nicer than this because I built it with Josh, but the specs on this is kind of comparable. So I don't want you people. I don't want y'all, you people. I don't want people to think that if you're not spending 3 grand, you're not gonna have a good time. Because again, that's fine. You're just not gonna have the best graphics, or you're gonna lose some frames per second. But let's go ahead and go into our wheel bases. So I did a low level. Then this is direct drive only. I did a low level, medium level, and then like the absolute highest that you can get, in my opinion, for PlayStation. I'm not even gonna do PC just because it costs so much. So let's start here. You got the Moza R3 bundle or R5 bundle, and I run Moza. I honestly love it. The QR, the metal, it's a more industrial feeling, and that's $440. Now, the cost of the base isn't that different, but the variety and the mixing you can do, you're gonna be limited on PlayStation. So this is something that's comparable. This is also does, let me see, 5 Newton meters, $500. So it's only $50 more. But again, you got more plastic on here. I'm sure this base flexes a little bit, and you're gonna be limited on how much stuff you can do. Like Thrustmaster is so far beneath Moza as far as like product quality. But I mean, there are some cool options here for you. So let's go ahead and go here. Um, if you wanted to stick with Thrustmaster, this is going to be the cheapest wheel possible you can get with a screen on it. And I had this wheel personally, and I loved it. Ran it with a T300, and they made some effort to try to make it cool. Like they got this chrono paddle, which I didn't get, but I actually missed the rocker paddles. I drive other cars and other Formula style wheels, and that is something I miss. So if you're talking about entry level direct drive, and not that's gonna be the cheapest direct drive PlayStation wheel you can get. So up next we'll go mid level. Now this is where it starts to swing, in my opinion. So this wheelbase, a lot of people, because of how smooth and how responsive it is, they put it just beneath the Semi-Cube, and the Semi-Cube is like the best of the best, right? But you getting this, which is 18 Newton meters, and the pedals, you can get them inverted. You can add haptic motors, and this wheel you can swap out. Like my turn racing will work with this. You can make it integrated with SimHub, and the sky is really the limit with that. Now, and then you can also, because you can also do open-ended stuff. Like you don't have to be locked into one ecosystem and then have to sell the entire thing. So that's a huge plus for PC. So that's, I would say, mid-level. Now that's 1400, so it's pretty expensive, not gonna lie. But like this right here is a mid-level um, PlayStation setup, right? Now it's a good wheel. I've heard good things about it. They're extending their ecosystem, 11 Newton meters. Um, so let's go ahead and go to the cart real quick, and we'll check that out. So it's less than the Simagic stuff, right? But there is a huge drop off in the pedals. Huge drop off. Those P1000s, you can argue, are some of the best deals in sim racing. You can also do the hydraulic option. While this, um, they're pretty basic, right? Now let's go ahead and check out Fanatec. Where is it at? So what you're like. I got some money to blow. I'm just do it once, do it right. So that's how much it's gonna cost you to get a console ready system and be done with it. Now, great wheel. I would say it's beneath Asetek, and it's I would say it's beneath a mid-range PC setup. So it's been a while since I drove Fanatec, but I have driven Simagic Alpha, which is cheaper than this, and the Simagic Alpha is leagues ahead of the Fanatec DD1 in my personal opinion, and this is the replacement for that. But that's a pretty big gap. $2,000 versus 1,450. So you got a lot of, you can get another wheel for that. Now high end PC stuff is just, yeah, it's crazy. So like you can get this. Let's say you want to do some hard GT3 racing and you want the best of the best. So you get this pedal for your throttle, this one for your brake. The amount, it's too easy to spend money on high end PC stuff, but you don't need to. And that was really like the biggest thing with this video. Like Josh has that bass, fantastic. It can make any sim feel amazing, and you can download professional driver profiles and do all of these things. But you don't need to. I've beaten people with higher end gear than me, and it's not it's not like do or die. Like if I don't spend $3,000, I'm gonna be trash. It's braking technique, it's throttle technique, it's using the electronics. All of these things will help you, help your driving skill. And then let's go to the Steam store real quick. Now, the Steam is really where the pendulum swings, in my opinion. So like AC Evo, which still isn't out, it's probably not going to be on console for a while. Right now it's $30. It's in early access, or $40 in early access. And I actually meant to show that price gap on with Assetto Corsa Competizione. So let's go ahead and go in here real quick, because I don't want to forget. Now, base Assetto Corsa, you can get this game for $10, probably even cheaper than that. And the amount of things you can do on here is just crazy. And then there's also like free content, So back on track here. Assetto Corsa Competizione, the same game I just showed out there on the console, on the PS5. The GT3 only championship. I had a great time with this. This was my first real sim racing experience. Plenty of nights with the T300, just having a good time. if you talk about console versus PC, the tire model updates are a big deal. Now, and I looked this up. Let's go to DLC real quick. So, I want to say it was called the Challengers Pack. Here we go. This pack came out in March of 2022. Yep, March 23rd. It didn't come out on console until December of 2022. So if you're at the front end driving with this, you're going to see people on PC who are just having so much more fun because they get in the best of the best as soon as it comes out. So let's go back to auto simulation. Now keep in mind that DLC I was telling you guys about, or not the DLC, the microtransactions on Gran Turismo. It was $35 if you just wanted to buy the Toyota Hypercar. So we're going to go to Automobilista 2. And I don't know if the spring sale is still going. But if you buy stuff when it's on sale for Steam, it's so much cheaper. Now, that is a hefty ask for a sim. But it's a lot. So let me see. Hockenheim, Silverstone, Nürburgring, Spa. Then you got some tracks, off-road, on-road, supercars. So that's a lot. But that's for 2 years worth of DLC. And in my opinion, Automobilista 2 has some of the best content per dollar that you can get. So, all right, let's go ahead and check out Endurance Track Pack Part 2. So, I want you to keep that $35 Gran Turismo Hypercar in the front of your mind. So, let's go here. So, we got a new tire model, and we got a LMDH, 2 LMP2s, and 2 GT3s. So we got the Alpine, RA Evo, Corvette, and we got 2 LMP2 cars. Now that one is $10. So do you want to? And that's what I was bringing to is, do you spend? And it looks just as good as Gran Turismo, but it's gonna be cheaper overall. So for content, and it comes out more frequently. Right now, the content you get on Gran Turismo 7 is abysmal. So this is all stuff you have to think about. As you've seen, the prices wasn't that far apart between but the value is just significantly better. Like that is gonna be so much. You're gonna have so much more fun with that. With the add-ons you can add here, that base is way more than you're gonna need. You can set this up with SimHub. You can take the handles off, so you can make it a drift wheel. On PlayStation, you're not gonna be able to. You're gonna have to pay to do all of this stuff. And then like Assetto Corsa, like I said. Now this is one of the mods you can get. Don't know exactly how much it is, but a lot of these mods you can just download them, no cost to you. So all that GT1 pack stuff I be talking about, like literally everything is here. GT1, Nissan, Nissan, BMW, Ferrari 333, Porsche, Panos, CLK GTR, LM, CLR, Lotus. You're not getting that value out of a console, or you're gonna play a lot to match it. So like, this is the type of stuff you have to think about. All right, so talking about esports and not having access to hypercars outside of the Toyota. This game cost me $30 when it first came out, and there are leagues and championships. I'm sure they're gonna do an esports Le Mans race here soon. And this is the official World Endurance Championship simulator. So like, this was $30 early access. They do have content, but let's go ahead and go check some of this out, right? Now, Circuit of the Americas, that is DLC, right? Downloadable content. So let's go to Steam. Le Mans Pack 2, $13. What does that get you? Let me see. So you get Coda, Alpine, and the Yasota Franchitti. So that's two hypercars and a track that probably will never come to Gran Turismo. You know, look, look at that. So that's kind of what I'm getting at, right? That's kind of what made me want to do this video. So on top of the $30 for the base game, which if you follow the channel, there's a bunch of videos kind of talking about that. Look at all these hypercars and GT3 cars and GT. Well, actually, it was hypercar, LMP2, and GTE. So I don't want you to think everything was $30, but I'm driving a lot of these 2024 cars, even though I didn't buy the 2024 stuff. And like, the cool thing, so like, you like GT3, right? But you don't want to buy it, but you still want to race with your buddies that love GT3. This car was free, so they did that so you could have access to the new season of gear. New season, if you wanted to race GT3 with your buddies, you're able to do that. So like here, you got to go to the store if you want the GT3R. So that's free. I think the Mustang's not free, but the BMW, like everything is here. It just depends what type of driving you want to do, right? And I think that's the biggest thing with me for the video. What kind of inspired me to do it? Now, there are plenty of things you can add in, like SimHub and mix and match and all your stuff. But I just wanted to show. We'll go to Assetto Corsa real quick too, just to kind of show some of the things. So, content manager. So, content manager was like $10, while the base game was probably $10. The content manager lets you do so much stuff. So, like, I downloaded this Red Bull just because I could. I wasn't inspired to do a video. Like these LMP2 cars, free mods. This Ferrari 499p. It was free. Like, there are different costs and different points to it. Like Cadillac. So there are definitely pros and cons, but like I said, the biggest thing for me, and which side I lean on, is having access to the best drivers and having something that's stable with. I mean, the competition is the biggest thing for me. Like when we did iRacing Daytona 24, there was like 2,000 people in our split alone, let alone the top split where Jimmy Broadbent, Tony Kanaan, guys like that are racing. But if you just want to do some sim driving with the occasional racing, This is the perfect sim. So let's go here. We'll go all. We'll type in drift. So if you're on console, this is all you're gonna have access to. But being on PC, I forgot to. I should have done this sooner. We'll do it real quick. Assetto Corsa drift mods. Drift mods enhance experience. You can get all. Look at this. Free drift mods. 240. 1M. You can literally download your Dream Drift build all the way to the engine and the wheels in this. You can have plenty of fun in CarX. It's cross-platform. You can get a base that's strong enough, but ultimately it just depends what you want out of the sim. I just don't want people to think it's this unobtainium impossible thing where you gotta spend, look at this SC. I don't want people to think it's this $3,000 computer, $3,000 wheelbase. That is not what you need to have a good time. So that being said, we're gonna go ahead and go to our outro. All right, what's going on, guys? I think it's pretty easy to see where I'm at with it. And you know, that's PC. Now, like I said, the biggest thing is the sales that you can get your stuff for versus it makes a lot of sense at that point, especially like, you know, if you build your PC, you check secondhand. For me, the amount of the competition and the skill that comes with driving on PC versus racing on console. Like I said, Gran Turismo has its moments, and there are people that play Gran Turismo that will probably beat me on Assetto Corsa. But the amount of people, even like Assetto Corsa Competizione, so that's a full-blown simulator. It took forever to come out on console. Then the content was watered down, or it takes an extra 9 to 8 months before it is ready to come to console. So like, I've done a lot of driving on both console and PC, but you know, for me, being able to drive on iRacing and put down comparable times to the actual race that you know, qualifying that Cadillac did one year. Me and Josh did a video about that. Doing the Daytona 24, seeing 2,000 people just in our lobby, knowing there's a whole bunch of other ones, and then seeing guys like Jimmy Broadbent, Max Verstappen, Lando Norris. That's what I want out of the sim racing. So yeah, I could do Gran Turismo, but making that jump to PC, for me, it's worth it. It might not be for you, and that's fine. Or, you know, you can buy you a wheelbase that can do both. Have a budget PC for, you know, for drifting on Assetto, and then use that same one to do the Nations Cup on Gran Turismo. But it really just depends what you want out of it. Now, there is no right or wrong answer, but you know, that's what side I lean on. But with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave a comment down below what you think, what side of the fence you lean towards, and why. But yeah, stay tuned because we're gonna keep doing iRacing. Not iRacing. We're gonna do some more racing. I got LMU downloaded, and you know, I did my first drive with that recently. But there's some more stuff on the horizon. You know, I want to get probably the FSR 2. I'm definitely gonna get haptic motors for the Simpson stuff. So that'll be a slight upgrade, and I'll probably do a comparison because they have two models. Subscribe, guys. Like I said, leave a comment down below. Let me know you made it to the end. Hope you guys enjoyed the content. Like I said, being able to do esports with the most recent version of everything all together. Nothing against the fictional cars, but you know, the LMP1 should destroy hypercar. But Gran Turismo makes it work. That's not what I'm after. I'm after the best authentic racing experience. Stay tuned, man. Like I said, we're on the way. Apex Vision out.